Today I'm going to do something a little different. Check this out. There's 2 cars in this parking lot. Last time I was here, this lot was full of people. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to hike this cave. It's almost 2 miles long, and I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be alone in there. If you watch the last video when I did this cave, you'll see that I got a little claustrophobic and I saw multiple people that were panicking. They were having real panic attacks. And a lot of people were leaving early because they didn't realize it was such an intense cave. This is the kind of thing when you get here and you start hiking it, it's not what you expected it to be. That's what I realized when I was here last time. And that's what's making me come back again today. I got here early. I'm going to be alone. I'm going to be totally alone. Last time I was like passing people. I could kind of use their lights. But now it's all up to me. And now I'm more prepared because I got gloves this time. I got some extra light. I got my jacket already. I'm dressed completely properly. I even got a little hat that's padded on top. Also, I got different boots on right now. Last time I took my 511 boots and they worked really well. But today I got these $300 Zamberlan boots, and these are my go-to hiking boot. This is an awesome brand. I really like it, so I'm going to try these out. I was a little sketched out about bringing these boots just because they're so expensive, and the surface it's lava. It's sharp lava rock, and there's these things called lava sickles, which are like icicles, but they're made of lava sticking up from the ground. And you have to hike on these lava sickles. And it tears up your boots. So these boots are gonna incur a little bit of damage, but that's what they're for. Well, I gotta say, I am much more scared right now than I was last time I came up here, down here. Last time I was down here, it was just a few days ago. The parking lot was basically half full. So immediately coming down, there were groups and families and people with lights. A lot of people were scared. A lot of people were brave. And a lot of people kind of start out scared and they get more brave as they go along. And that's kind of how I started. I was scared at first, but then once I saw all the people coming through, it gives me some courage. I'm like, oh, there's little kids and stuff doing this. There's families, and there's moms and dads and stuff coming down here with like flashlights and really basic gear. See, I got my gloves now, so I'm really prepared. I got all kinds of lights. I even put this light on me here. This is one of the dog lights. Man, one of my subscribers sent me these, and so now this is going to be awesome because I was thinking if I drop my headlamp in here, since there's nobody else in this cave, I'm not going to have any light to find my headlamp if I drop it. So I have this as a backup so I can flip this on. And so I'll always have a little bit of emergency light. And I have the other one in my pack, and I have multiple sources of light. So I'm set on sources of light, and I even have an extra battery like I did last time for my headlamp. But 2 guys just came up behind me, and they were going to go down. But then they said they didn't have any lights, so I'm the first one down here. I'm going to be the only one down here. The people that were here ahead of me in the cars, the only 2 cars in the parking lot, they just came out. They only went like maybe a third of the way down here, and they already came out. So I'm the only one in here, and so that has me really, really frightened right now, really scared. And coming down here, it's like I already feel like it's brand new. Like I do not remember this section. I think that's because I'm the only one lighting it up. So I can only see what my headlamp shows. And man, I'm really scared. So I'm going to just keep walking. I don't think I'm going to shoot a ton of video in here. I think I don't know. It's kind of nice to be like, okay, I've got somebody with me. I can kind of tell my story. But also it kind of, I don't know, having a break in like my mental state. I'm not sure how that's going to work, so we'll see. But I want to go all the way to the end again. I do not remember this section of the cave. So I feel like I'm lost, but I got to remember it's just an out and back. Like you can't get lost in this cave. When I'm in here all by myself, I feel like I shouldn't be here. This isn't something I would do unless I had that experience the other day where I saw all the tourists coming in here, you know, like I was saying, families and stuff like that. So I just keep thinking of that. All the families that were in here, they were laughing and some of them were crying and stuff, but they were all here together, and there were people throughout this cave. So check out my last video if you want a little bit less of a claustrophobic experience. Although, I mean, I had some fright in that video as well. But I think this one is going to be pretty intense. So if you're claustrophobic or prone to like panicking, then good luck watching this video, because I'm probably going to be doing some of that myself. If I hadn't done this before, I wouldn't do this by myself, because I would feel like this is wrong. I shouldn't be here. Look at this now. This is the first part where I'm going to have to duck down. I don't remember this, like, almost at all. It's just getting creepier and creepier, really. It's not like getting easier and easier as you go. You know, I'm thinking about like monsters and creatures and stuff like that. It's kind of scary, but really the scary thing is thinking about rocks falling. And if I come through this area, I can see there's not a whole lot of rocks that have fallen, so that makes me feel safe. But there's areas like just right back here. There's these boulders, and then you can see where they came from the ceiling. And I don't know how to tell how long it's been since they fell. 100 years? It must be longer than that, because this cave, this lava tube cave, it's over 500,000 years old. I mean, this is a cave. This is cavey. It's nice how it opens up. You know, the sound starts to sound different immediately. I don't have that echoey. So here's some rocks that have fallen, and then you can see where they came from. Right here, and if you look at the edges of the rocks, they look, you know, fairly fresh. So that's like my biggest fear. And then, of course, up here, there's huge boulders. I mean, the size of half of a car. Okay, I'm going to try and turn on this dog light here. Yeah, there. Oh, so it has this red flashing mode. So, okay, I can kind of turn that on my face so you can see me a little bit. And that's not shining right in my eyes so much. It's dead silent in here. Now the thought I'm getting in my head is, if I freak out, if I get scared, then I have to hike back. I have to go back. You know, it's going to take you 45 minutes to hike out of here. And you have to be careful because you don't want to fall. That's the biggest danger here, is falling. So I have to really watch my footing. I got these gloves. See if I can put some light on these gloves. And these are actually called mechanics gloves. I'll put a link to them down in the description. And man, when you guys click on those Amazon links, that really helps me and the dogs out. You know, you don't have to buy anything, but if you just click on it, that really helps us out a lot. So check these gloves out. I dig them. I've had a couple pairs of them over the years, and they actually don't have leather on them, but they have this sort of fake leather. And I use these gloves all the time for hiking. The main thing is that they're very tactile, right? You can see my fingers, how they fit in there really well. So that's the thing I really like for hiking, because you need to grip rocks and sticks and your gear. I can manage a lot of my gear even with these gloves on, and that's what I really like. They're not particularly warm is the one thing to keep in mind. I'm going to do some more of this hiking, and so you guys join me up at the next point where I kind of start to freak out. Oh, so I stopped here and I was noticing that I have a real sense of like panic and urgency, and I don't need that. It's not serving me any purpose. I'm gonna attempt to show you what it's like crawling through here. And it's scary, but the thing that gives me a lot of solace is the idea that there's no fresh rocks down here. So, I mean, so that what's above me is super sturdy. There's a few smaller pieces that have fallen along the edges, but what's above me has been here for over 500,000 years. It's not a sharp ceiling, but the floor is super sharp. It's all lava sickles. They're about 6 to 10 inches high, and they make good handholds with the gloves. But if I didn't have gloves, it would be a little more painful. There we go. This spotlight, one of my subscribers sent me, which I'm super grateful for because this is coming in really handy here. I mean, I use it all the time in the trailer just to see coyotes. I was just looking at coyotes, and I used it last night because I saw a whole bunch of eyes outside of the trailer, and it turned out to just be cows. But really quickly, I couldn't tell if it was coyotes or cows, so it was nice to have. But this spotlight, I'll put a link to this one on Amazon down in the description below. You can check this light out. It's pretty inexpensive, and it's rechargeable, which is awesome out here. Got these cracks here in the lava flow, and some of them go pretty deep. And I noticed somebody, it looks like they dropped a lamp down there. Something. Yeah, if you drop it down there, that's it. Obviously, light is like the key thing to have down here. Is I feel so safe knowing that I have all this extra light. This is that same spotlight. It's got this side light that is not quite as bright. It's kind of more like a floodlight. It does light up the cave a little bit. It pretty well, actually. Once my eyes would adjust, it actually does pretty well. So, I mean, this light is cool because it has a bunch of different levels. So you can turn it down a little bit. It's got 2 levels for that. There. I just had a group of people pass me. I made it about halfway completely by myself. And I think I'll make it to the end. Once these guys will pass me again as I head to the end. It feels a lot, just safer knowing like, okay, I'm not the only person down here. I'm not the only crazy person. Man, it's hard to think about anything when you're doing a hike like this. Like all you're thinking about is where your feet are going and what's ahead of you. Don't hit your head. How are your lights? It's kind of nice. Like it's kind of freeing for your mind. Now I got something interesting going on here. I was having trouble with my headlamp, and I realized all it is the battery's dead. This is my battery pack I take with. So now it's charging. See the red lights on? And it'll actually work even though the battery on the headlamp is dead. Since it's hooked up to this external battery, it'll work. It's a little awkward to like carry this way. I can't really carry that on my head anymore. So I can just sit here and let it charge for a little bit. I'm almost at the end. It still works, and I got this dog light, so that is saving my butt. While this is charging, I want to show you something. This battery pack, see, it's got the 4 lights right there, so I know it's fully charged. But I bought this little device here. I'll have a link to this. This is a light. It plugs into the USB port. And then when you touch the back here, see it lights up. Oh, that works really good. Dang. And then it's fully adjustable too. It costs like $2, something like that. I actually didn't even know it would light up this whole cave. I mean, I think it might be a little brighter than my headlamp. That's nuts. Here, take a look at that. See, So you just get this battery pack, and now with this light, which you can stick it on a keychain, is a good place to keep it, but you can put that in any USB port on any device that has power, and that thing will light up. And I couple this battery with this cable kit here, and I can charge my headlamp and my phone with this cable and this battery pack. I made it to the end right here. I took a break and I was listening to some Mormons taking some boys on this hike, and they were doing a little proselytizing. They were saying some pretty good things about staying off of the phone and not getting addicted to things that are bad. I agreed with most of the stuff they were saying, actually. Kind of interesting. These little bumps here. And this is the end of the cave. And I remember last time, I crawled all the way into here. Gotta get my footing here. I think it's time for a little got out philosophy. I thought about this last time I was down here in the cave. I didn't talk about it too much, but I really noticed it when I left the cave. You know, this doesn't just apply to caves, but you really feel it when you're in the cave. Because I mean, I think I'm 100 feet at least below the ground right now, below the surface. The only thing that matters down here is the food I have, the water I have, the gloves, the gear that I have. The light is the main thing, really. And your sanity, you know, your own brain, your brain power. On the Got Out channel, we explore a lot of the natural world, above ground, you know, the woods, the deserts, the animals that we see, and the different kinds of weather we experience. And when you're doing that, when you're exploring and living amongst nature, in this environment right here is super extreme. It's an extreme version of nature, where all that matters is the right here and right now. And I think sometimes we get caught up in, like, you know, the news, the media, and of course there's things like advertising, and then there's all kinds of social situations and different kind of rules and regulations and social interactions, things like that you can really get caught up, especially like thinking about things like the news, like politics or world events. And honestly, in our life, with me and the dogs living outside, that stuff doesn't matter. And coming down here in this cave, that stuff doesn't matter at all. What's been going on down here in this cave, and what's been going on in the up above ground when we're in the forest and the deserts and the natural areas, those environments, just like this environment, they've been the same for thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. And nature doesn't give a crap about your politics or your news or your life. None of that stuff matters. And down here, it just hit me really, really hard that those things don't matter. They don't matter. Those things don't affect your life. It's kind of interesting and kind of fun sometimes to be knowledgeable about that stuff, and to think about it a little bit, you know, so you know what's going on. But it doesn't matter. The stuff you see on the news, that stuff does not affect your day-to-day life. It doesn't affect your family, your lifestyle, your pets, however you're living. You could live without that stuff if you never saw the news media again, if you never followed anybody's rules or the way that you think that you should operate because of how other people are going to look at you. If you never took any of that stuff into account again, you'd just be doing whatever you want to do, and you'd be happy. Being down here, you realize real quick what what matters. And let me tell you, it's not what you see on the TV. It's not what you see in the news. It's like a joke. It's like being down here, and if anybody wants to talk about politics or, you know, world events, it's just a freaking joke. I think in a lot of ways that what I'm trying to do on the Got Out channel is that, like, just remind people that what matters is where you are right now. And you can create that right now pretty easily on your own. You know, what the dogs and I do, we created this lifestyle where we travel full time, and all we have is what we take with us and the knowledge that we have about surviving and gathering gear and supplies every couple weeks, keeping things in a good working condition, and keeping our bodies, you know, the dogs' bodies they're super fit. My orange dog, Dodger, he's really old, but he's so strong. He's so strong because he's outside all the time. We hike all the time. He runs into all kinds of plants and animals, and he's so knowledgeable. He's so wise, and that keeps his brain working good. It keeps my brain working good. Encountering natural things and having to deal with the weather, the rain, storms, and heat and cold, and having to manage all that, it makes you feel alive, like invigorated, as opposed to like being in a box and living in a box. You know, living in a building that's full of boxes, or going to an office that's just another box where you're staring at a box all day. I just thought that was important to share. It really hits me down here in this kind of area. Now, hey, if you like the Got Out channel, thanks for watching us. Let us know you're watching. We like to know you're watching. So hit that like button. And subscribe to the Got Out channel so you don't miss any of our adventures. We have some crazy adventures sometimes. Sometimes they're simple. This one for me, it ranks up there as pretty crazy. I don't know how it's going to turn out on video, but this is the kind of stuff I like to do, and this is what you'll see on this channel. It's just me and the dogs living in the outdoors and making our way. You know, we're not great at this lifestyle, but we've been doing it for a few years, so we're getting better at it. And I like reading your comments, so leave me a few comments down below about what you think we're doing, what you think we're doing wrong, what you think we could do better. I'm always interested in what you all have to say. Let's keep hiking. I got a ways to hike out of here, probably 30, 45 minutes to get out of here. Got to get back to the dogs. Echo was actually starting to like kind of shake when I was leaving this morning because I got up early, and they were all kind of discombobulated, like, what's going on? Where are you going? And then I left them, and he was actually kind of shaking nervously. So I'm excited to get back to them again. Like I always miss them real quick.